Hey, welcome back. All right, we're getting into the second part of this series as it pertains to retirement. And today we're going to talk a little bit about standard mutual funds that you could purchase on your own or invest in on your own. And yes, I'm talking the stock market. And when you say the stock market, people have a tendency to freak out. I was always one of those people. But once I learned a little bit about it and did some research into it, it's not as bad as what you think. And I'm going to give you some pointers here and there. But the other one that we're going to talk about is a huge one, and that's a Roth IRA, not a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA. We're going to talk about some differences, some similarities, and which one works for you, and maybe both. So hang out. We're getting into it. As we talk about Roth IRAs, or just traditional ETF funds, or electronic transfer funds, I believe is what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong, comment below. Either way, it's an ETF fund. I'm almost 50 years old. Okay. I'm not willing to play with fire a whole lot. So me personally, I'm not a big stock guy. I don't have time to sit and watch the stock market all day long. So I usually try to pick things that are a little more safe. Um, One of those things is going to be following the S&P 500. What is the S&P 500? Pretty simple. The S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in the United States. So you're buying into each one of those, right? Now, how do you do this, Ken, right? It's simple. You can look at Schwab, you can go through Fidelity, you can go through, I think, SoFi, and some other ones. You just have to go out and check out what's out there. But I would do it. So, sticking with ETFs for a minute, I personally am not comfortable dumping money into something that goes like this every other day. No way. Okay, that's just playing with fire. If I was 20 years old, maybe, but no, I can't do that at this age. I need something a little more stable. So on average, I follow, the S&P 500. I do contribute to it, but you have to look at the long haul of it. And that's what I did. So when you look at an investment, so if you go to like Google Finance, Yahoo Finance, and you type like key code VOO, it's going to bring it to Vanguard S&P 500. Don't look at the 1 day mark. Don't look at the 1 month mark. Look at the max and the 5 year, and you're going to see that nice incline. That's what you want. Everybody's in the stock market in one way, shape, or form. If you pay into 401k, it's stocks. My retirement is based on stocks as well, and it's a state pension. But yeah, it's stocks. You can do the same thing, just kicking in a little extra, because it just depends on where you're at financially and what you're willing to do. For me, I'm not allowed to contribute any more to my retirement other than doing it's like a 457 plan. It's a deferred compensation plan. But on top of that, yes, I contribute to that. But I also started contributing to S&P 500, and I also opened up a Roth IRA account. And we're going to get into the Roth IRA and what the pros are to them. A lot of things that a lot of people don't realize are a huge pro to them. But when you split the two, say in ETFs and Roth IRAs, ETFs or the S&P 500, stuff like that, messing with stocks individually or multiply, however you look at it, those are like short-term goals. Say you want to put down money on a house, because it does get compounding interest, but you got to do your homework into this. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you advice. I'm only telling you what I did and what is working for me and is tried and true, and want to share that information with you so that you can look into it as well and see if it matches your goals. See if it puts you in a better position in 10 years. For me, it puts me in a hell of a lot better position than what I'm in right now. So going into Roth IRAs, well, let me back up. So ETFs are, again, they're short-term goal type deals. Buying a car, need money down for a house, things you're trying to develop in a short-term goal. Long-term goal is going to be your best bet is going to be a Roth IRA. And here's why. Roth IRAs are typically a retirement savings account. Okay. So as of 2026, if you're under the age of 50, you can contribute. Now, obviously, our wonderful government has to put stipulations on what we do. Why, I don't know, but they do. But if you're under the age of 50, you can contribute up to $7,500 a year. Okay. If you're over the age of 50, they're calling that like a catch-up phase, where I believe it's either $8,500 or $8,600 per year that you can put into that. But the big pro to it is that's all money you already pay tax on. So you're just transferring money from your bank account into your Roth IRA. Okay, so you can do that by just go to Fidelity or go to Schwab, download it on your phone. It's not hard. You don't have to go out and pay a stockbroker or an investor thousands and thousands of dollars to do this. You can do it on your own and just watch it grow. Don't get obsessed with it, because you're going to freak out, because it does do a little bit of notches here and there. That's typical. That's all retirement. But you want that nice slow growth to where it peaks. That's what you're looking for. That long haul, not the short haul, the long haul. So here's the pros of a Roth IRA. Number one, you can pull from it anytime if you need to, but you can only pull in what you contributed. Okay, so it's like a savings account. You can't pull any of the interest out. You don't really want to do that, though. That's worst case scenario. Okay, so if you're in a pinch and you need to take it out, everybody has to make their own decisions. For me, I'm not touching it. Okay, I want it to grow. I want that compounding interest to continue to build. When you go in and you open an account, there's a little toggle button, at least there was on my app. Click that toggle button. What that does is that reinvests. So some of it you may get a small percentage back every 6 months, 1 year. Well, rather than writing me a check and sending it to me, I don't want to see that money. Just reinvest it. What goes out goes away. I don't even pay attention to it. So going back into Roth IRAs, highly, highly, highly recommend this. Man, if you do this at a young age, you could have quite a bit of money by the time you retire. Quite a bit of money. And that's money that you put in on top of a 401k or a pension or a deferred comp or anything else out there. So you're setting yourself up for a better life. But remember, debt. You gotta stay out of debt. Watch your debt. I know it's easy to get sucked into it. Again, especially as Americans, every one of us, I don't care who you are, I think every one of us subconsciously has this keeping up with the Joneses mentality. I had it. I'm not saying everybody has it, but on average, yeah, we all do. I'm not that guy anymore. Now, like I said on the last video, I'd rather watch the Joneses work than me have to go to work too. Because I am tired. I am so tired. I have been busting my ass for years, working 2, 3, and 4 jobs. And yes, I work a total of 4 jobs currently. But what am I doing with those 3 and 4 jobs? I'm paying into my retirement. Because once I hit a certain age, you can feel as you get older, your body's like, whoa, how much more can you take? You can do this at 20 years old. You can do this at 30 years old. You can do this at 40, but somewhere along the line, you hit this bump and it's like, your body's like, dude, what are you doing? So I'm at that point. So I have to pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay. So staying with the Roth IRAs for a minute. Here's the thing. When you're 59 and a half years old, that's a hell of a lot better than 65. That's a hell of a lot better than 67, right? I don't pay into Social Security because I work for the government. So mine's all pension based. I think I told you before, I get like, it's less than $900 a month in Social Security just because I didn't contribute to it. So I had a lot of making up to do. Um, I hate when I get off topic on that, but it's something I did need to throw in there. Roth IRAs, 59.5 is when all of that money is yours to start pulling from it. And you can do a lot with it. You can use it as basically a banking account. You can pay such and such with it. You can do this with it. You can take out a lump sum and pay off your house with it. Or, I wouldn't say drain the whole thing, because remember, the goal is to keep that compounding interest building. You don't want to drain the whole thing. Because obviously, the longer it sits and the less you take out, the more you're going to get in the long run, right? So it's basically you're paying yourself back, but with pretty decent interest. Now, kicking backwards back into ETFs. If you're interested in looking into ETFs besides a Roth IRA, I would say look for something that's going to be growth and technology type EFTs, because that's kind of where our society is today. And that's going to be, Vanguard growth type fund. I think it's like VUG is the key code. QQQ is one of those that I do look at. Again, I do follow the S&P 500 naturally. That's one of the ones that I do contribute to. Trying to think of some other ones. Vanguard Technology, I think it's VGT. Look into that as well. All of these things can be done and looked at for free. You don't have to sign up for anything. Just go to Google, click on Google Finance, and look up those key codes and look and see if that follows what you're looking for in your life. It's not my life, it's your life. So these are just pointers I'm throwing out at you. They're like little darts of information I'm tossing at you. So things to consider. Okay, staying with ETFs for a couple more minutes. That's going to be, something that could be a dividend stock. Or what is a dividend? So basically a dividend is where the company gives you some money based on its profits that are paid out. It's kind of like rewarding you or saying thank you for investing in our company. I do that too, but at the same time, I have that little box checked, reinvest. I don't want the check back, reinvest it, keep reinvesting. That's what I want to do. I want that long-term goal. So a couple of the, if you want to call them like the dividend kings, the ones that have been around forever that do pay out some extra money, those are going to be your old schools, man. You're talking Coca-Cola, you're talking Johnson & Johnson. They've been around for nearly 100 years. So they're not going anywhere. But, with the war that we're in currently, am I recommending to play with it? No. I'm not recommending anything. I'm just, again, throwing little darts of information that you can look at. But those are going to be your big dividend kings that they're going to pay higher percentage of dividends back to you. All right, lastly, going back into that little toggle that's reinvesting. So I'm trying to think what that's called. It's called dripping. So you're dripping your money back into the investments. So again, I just reinvest it right back into what I started in, rather than taking a paycheck every 6 months, 3 months, 12 months, whatever it is. I don't pay attention to it. I don't see it. It just goes right back in, and I don't care. So stick with me, and we're going to break down really knit and grit as it pertains to Roth IRAs and why you should consider it and why you should really tell your children about them today, not later. But for now, I'm out. See ya.